as I keep on understanding the effects of being raised by satanic narcissistic parents, I now realize the effects of trauma-based mind abuse in my life. One of the most disturbing effects was feeling ashamed for what I've been through. For much too long, I've been imprisoned by this toxic feeling. As mentioned in my last video, part 1, the abuse started very early in my life, most likely while I was in my mother's womb. Infants are completely innocent and incapable of understanding what kind of influences and learnings are being rooted in their minds. Therefore, this is the precise moment these sordid narcissistic demons choose to create trauma mind-based abuse in their victims. These demons, fully conscious of what they are and the consequences of what they do, know the infants are born with an innate vulnerability to shame. Shame does not happen afterwards in life, but at birth. And narcissists know it, and use that in their trauma-based mind abuse. A victim plagued with shame will live in fear and isolation. Therefore, not being able to tell what happened and expose the narcissistic demons for who they are and for the consequences of what they do. This is the reason narcissists embed trauma mind abuse scripts in their victims. When exposed to trauma-based mind abuse, the victim will transition from infant to adulthood, feeling ever more unworthy, incapable, and hopeless. This will be the case until the victim wakes up from the abuse. As I wake up from the abuse from my narcissistic family, I can now identify the effects of shame in my life. I remember feeling anxious when meeting people, afraid they would finger point me towards my embedded scripts of worthlessness. For much too long, I have believed the scripts I was indoctrinated with and rooted in my mind since I was born. Scripts have created a false image of who I am. Thus, through dissociation, creating an alter ego to be able to survive the many forms of abuse. Shame, in my opinion, is one of the primary obstacles when waking up from the abuse, because it clouds our consciousness by continuously running these inserted scripts in our minds. Until we can start unveiling what these demonic creatures have embedded our minds with, we cannot understand the consequences of the abuse we have suffered and its effects. Therefore, until then, we live with a split sense of self, living with shame, and not getting rid of the scripts implanted by these demons. Recognizing that I had lived with shame for so long is how I have started to understand the effects of trauma-based mind abuse. For the first time, despite being broke, alone, and nearly homeless, I can look in the mirror, see my true self, and be in peace with who I am. I hope this video helped people waking up to the trauma-based mind abuse in their lives to be able to get rid of shame from their mind and soul. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember, knowledge is freedom.